Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stunula. In this video, I'm gonna go over 10 tips that I wish I knew before playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I recently just came back to this game and I've been having a lot of fun on it, and I kind of wanted to compile a list of basic to more advanced tips that I've learned from playing in the past to playing currently that I think would be informative for newer players as well as veteran ones. Without further ado, let's start it off with the number one. Use a bone scrap. Whenever you have a bone scrap near you, try to grab it because it's going to save your life. 9 times out of 10, when I die in this game, it's because I don't have one and I get put in a situation where I'm either in the open or in a bad area that I just take a lot of excessive damage, and a lot of the time that inevitably leads to your ultimate death, which sometimes it really does suck, I can't lie. Second tip is try to use wells to your advantage. There's a reason why there are wells all around the map, and it's basically a way to reset. So if you're getting attacked by multiple family members and your health bar is going to get to the point where if you take one more hit, you're gonna die. If you go to a well, you're gonna get incapacitated, but it's going to save you from dying. Wells are very, very strong, especially when you pair them up with the perk Stunt Double, because you basically take no damage when you fall down a well. Following up on that, the third one is when you drop down a well, keep moving. Don't go back to the same exact spot that you just came from. Try to escape from a different angle, say another door or a fuse escape or the valve. Just try to change it up. You never know. A lot of the time when you commit to a certain area, that's going to have the families focus on that area, allowing other areas of the map to open up to just have your teammates either go to them and you can just start to penetrate that area. Pause. Wild pause. That sounded crazy. But basically, y'all know what I mean. Like if 2 family members are focused on one side of the map, it just opens up the opportunity for other victims on your team to progress the game in ways where if they open up other parts of the map, it's going to get the family members focus off of that area that you were once pushing to that new area, creating an opportunity for you to possibly escape. When Cook is trying to scan you, try to crouch walk as much as possible, because when you're running and even crouch walking while like moving quickly, if you're holding shift, he can scan you. But if you kind of change up your movement where you use little rapid movements where you sprint for a little bit and then crouch and then walk, it's going to be a lot harder for him to try to ping you for the other team, and it's going to force him to either make a random call or just come over to where he thinks you are in your general area, and that's going to force him off of an objective. The 5th tip that I can give you is when you're first starting to play this game, try to manage your stamina more, because that's the most important thing in the game. When you're out of stamina, your character is slow, and 9 times out of 10 when you run out of stamina, you're going to die. So if there's a habit that you can break, such as the one that I had when I first started playing the game, when I got scared, I would panic and I would be holding my shift button down, but I would be spamming my spacebar because I thought repeatedly hitting the dash button would make me go faster, and that just resulted on me a lot of the time just getting gassed and not being able to outrun the family as long as I could have been, which is something that I learned when I came back to the game actually. Number 6 is don't sleep on chase or information perks, because they are very good a lot of the time. There's a perk in the game, I think it's called Slippery, that allows you, when you go through a crawl space or a gap in the wall, you gain a movement speed. This basically just allows you to outrun pretty much any chase killer, like a sissy or a hitchhiker chasing you. Info perks are also extremely powerful, because if you are on comms or not on comms, you're going to be able to know where the family members are to kind of just plan your approach and kind of try to avoid them, or if you're on comms, call them out to your teammates so you guys can kind of get a freer escape. essentially, through that information that one, the family doesn't even know that you have 9 times out of 10. I also forgot to mention the perk no sell. This is going to save your ass a lot of the time when you are newer into the game, and even when you're more experienced at the game, it's going to save yourself from dying to a Leatherface at the start of the game, which kind of sucks if you're newer and you're trying to learn Victim and you load into a game and you just get one shot by a Bubba that's been playing the game for a while. I know how that feels. It sucks, but keep playing. It'll happen a lot less when you are a little bit more experienced with the game. Something that I didn't know was prevalent when I came back to the game, but is also going to be the 7th tip of the video, is if you see one of your teammates opening a door and you have a bone scrap and the family member is going to try to hit them off the door, try to get in a close encounter with them, because this is going to allow that teammate to get more progress on the door and potentially get you guys an escape, which is extremely powerful. I had a time where I think I was on Family House. I got rushed by a Leyland, an Anna, a Danny, and a Virginia. All at the same time, they went front door. I had no idea what to do. I'm going to be honest, but it was one of those experiences that I was like, holy shit. These victims know how to play the game. Like somebody got hit by the Leyland charge. Anna got in a grapple. Virginia throw her smoke down, and Danny was on the door with fast hands just cranking that shit open, and they were out within seconds of the game starting. That was so impressive, but it was also like, you can literally do that as a victim if you are coordinated enough, or just understand, hey, I can stall this family member out for upwards of, I don't know, I think it's 5 seconds for a close encounter, and if you have the perk choose fight, you can stall them out for longer. You can oftentimes guarantee escapes by doing this, which is kind of annoying from a family perspective, but it's kind of awesome from a victim perspective when everyone kind of works together in a coordinated group. It almost feels like sometimes when you're playing family and you get a team like that, you're fighting against SEAL Team 6, because they are so coordinated. They know what's good with everything, and they know how to just rush you in a way where it's gonna be extremely difficult to stop. Moving on to our 8th tip, if you have a bone scrap and are at full health, there's no reason why you should try to avoid taking a grapple encounter with a family member, because this is going to avoid you taking damage, and it's also going to stun the family member and allow you to either escape, or like I said in the last tip, it's going to allow your teammates time to get objectives done. Tip number 9, if you're playing solo queue, bump your proficiency up. Thank me later, especially when you're playing one of those distraction victims. If you don't have a high proficiency and you're playing solo queue, your team's not doing anything, it's going to be miserable to try to escape, especially if no one has opened a door and you're the only one on your squad that is but just opening doors. You're just going to be opening them so slow. Number 10, certain victims have specific roles or play styles that they can kind of cater their builds around, or if they wanted to, just create a build that is totally unique. But from my experience, the certain roles that I've encountered are the distraction type of victim, which is more a Leyland or a Anna playstyle. Sometimes it could be a Virginia, depending on how they put their points into. It's all dependent on how you kind of build your class, because you can build your class around having high strength or having high toughness and kind of be a distraction player if you want, but there's some players that are better at it than others. You could also class Julie as a distractor, or a looper, as people would say in Dead by Daylight. She basically excels at running, and if you can't catch her, then you can't kill her. And if you're chasing after somebody that you obviously can't catch, your other team is going to be able to have a lot more space to just roam freely around the map, especially if you're getting chased in basement, which is one of the strongest places for survivors to play. Connie is one of those victims that is more focused on opening doors and the fuse escape than others. You can also classify Danny as somebody that goes around and is able to open doors quickly because of the perk Fast Hands, because that perk is probably one of the best perks in the game, in my opinion. There's just so many times where it comes in clutch. Following that, Danny is one of those victims that allows the team to have other opportunities to escape with his tamper ability. He's able to go around the map and inspect items and gather knowledge, and with this knowledge he's able to tamper mechanical devices such as the fuse box, the valve, the car battery, or the generator, and make them able to not be turned on for a specific period of time because they're tampered with. It's an extremely strong ability, and it is also extremely countered by the latest family member that they've added into the game, which is Hans, which I'll talk about in another video. If you guys want me to do a future video on family, I can do that. And now we have our two most unique victims that are in the game, and I would classify these victims more as information gathering victims. You have Maria, who has the ability to whisper in Grandpa's ear, and when she does that, whenever he screams and does his sonar, it shows the family members around the map that are moving at the time. The family can counter this by standing still, but it's still extremely strong to know where the family members are around the map. And with Sunny, he's able to use his heightened senses and able to detect family members tracking and pinpointing their location around the map. And this is one of my favorite victim abilities in the game, because if you are on comms or if you are in solo queue, you can tell your team where the family is pretty much at, I don't want to say at all times, but you can very much tell where the family members are or where they're going or where they are camping, because a lot of family members, if you penetrate one side of the map, they're going to just sit there. And if you have that information, you can know that, hey, we can go for the fuse escape because they are sitting by the generator across the map. Get what I'm saying? All right. And for our bonus tip, which I recently learned in a video that I just watched, you don't need to stand still when trapping lights. You can just click on the lamp and keep moving. Shout out to Midi for that. Thank you. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also share this video around to somebody that's maybe new at TCM or just wants to improve at the game.